Hi, welcome back to the I'm Not a Hater podcast featuring your favorite not hater. In this episode, I'm gonna be Mr. Brown, due to the perspective of what I'm gonna be talking about today. Um, but before we get started, I just want to thank everybody for liking and sharing and um, viewing the first episode of the podcast. That was real crucial to the start. It gave me kind of the ambition to keep going and kind of make this second episode here um, that quick because I saw the response that I was getting from the people with the first episode. So this second episode though is going to be a little bit more of a how to type of feel to it because I want to speak to a subject that I see quite often or I've seen quite often in my years of education. And I just want to kind of give some tips and some tools on how to handle these certain things as you see them. So today's episode is kind of like a do's and don'ts for parents. By the time this episode is released, it may be the first day of school or it may have already passed, but you could take these tips and you could kind of use them for what you need to do in the future and just kind of use it as though um for that purpose. So, you know, a lot of people out there in the world have school age children. I am a father of a school age child at this point. One of my kids has already gone through school, but the other one is on his journey. He's going to be in the second grade starting on Tuesday. So I am also following these rules just as well as anybody else. So I'm not giving you advice that I wouldn't follow my own self or that I haven't seen in my educational journey as an educator, teacher, para, etc. So, um, just to jump right in, like the first do of this episode is to bring your kids to school on the first day. Now, I know that sounds like super simple, but it makes a world of a difference when you drop them off on that first day. Number one, for them, it makes them feel comfortable and know that you care as a parent. For you, it allows you to see the building, meet the teacher possibly, administration, other staff that may come in contact with your kids. You never want to be blindsided when you visit your child's school and be like, "Who are you?" And they've known your kid, and your kid know them, and they got this wonderful relationship, but you don't know who they are. So, do make the effort to drop your kids off at school on that first day and as much as you can. So that way you can catch the updates about your kid in real time. That too, like don't wait for them to call. Like pop up, drop them off on a Monday, drop them off on a Friday, see what's going on with your kid. Find out what's happening because sometimes you get those updates and alerts 2 months too late, and your kid may be a real problem at the school, and you wouldn't know because you didn't take the time to drop them off. A don't though, a real don't, a real life don't. Once you drop them off and you make the meeting and you do all of that great stuff with them, go away. Yeah. And I'm not saying it like that to be like rude or anything, but go away. Do not linger. Because once you linger, especially for the younger kids, I'm going to take the time out and talk to the younger ones. Because when you get to middle school and high school, your kids don't even bother. Um, don't even bother dropping them off. You make your own contact with the teachers at that time. But for the younger people that have younger kids, like kindergarten, first grade, etc., if you linger too long, they will revert back to their household behaviors, and they will start to cry, and they will start to long for you and follow you out the building. And as a staff person, talking as a staff person at this point, it makes it incredibly hard for us to get them started off on the right foot for their day and the days to follow, because you hanging around, you taking pictures and selfies, okay, get one or two off, but then please exit quickly. We want to get them in, we want to get them breakfast, we want to get them the rules, we want to get them started off on the right foot and ready to go. You lingering around is not helping, it's just making it worse. um So we understand, like, and I'm talking from a staff person perspective. So I'm gonna jump from like to staff, parent to staff. So as a parent, right, I understand it because I'm a big photo taker. Like I take photos of everything and I want like the memories to be there. But as a staff person, I'm like, you took like five bursts in a row, or you took five selfies in a row. Okay, at this point, the kid isn't even enthused anymore. Like, just go. Because if the moment it hits minute 5 through 10, now the kid is like, I want my mommy. I want my daddy. I want this. I want to go home. And to have to hear that for 7 hours a day, it really makes it difficult. And so we really like appreciate you being there, but at the same time, we just want you to move on. Like go to work or go wherever you got to go, because at this point you making our job very, 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 very difficult. Um so that's that portion, like really. So once you get into the point of the school year where everything is kind of cool, um meet the teacher, open house, whatever they have, random meet the teacher day. I don't what they call it exactly. um Open house used to be the thing, and I used to hate when my mom would bring me to open house for her to meet all these teachers, because they would go from talking pleasant about me, and not that they said anything crazy or bad, but they would just go right into like what I needed to improve on. And it's like, yo, we only been in school 1 week. Like, how do you even know what do I need to improve on? Because you ain't even seen me that much. What are you talking about, lady? But meet your kid's teacher, know their names, get the contact info. Um, Again, as a parent, great resource tool to have. And in a further along in this episode, you'll understand why I'm saying this is a great tool to have. For the staff person in me though, this makes the teacher feel ultimately comfortable, right? Because now I've met you, I could put a face to the name, and I now realize that I have an ally in this relationship with your student, right? Because most times parents don't make that connection with the teacher. They don't know who the teacher is, and it stumbles the relationship, right? Because when I'm calling your house to tell you that your kid is misbehaving, you are apprehensive. You don't know me. I'm making a call out the blue, and you're like, "Why are you making this call? I never even met you." So during that first week, first month, whatever it is, whatever the time frame is, take the opportunity, meet that teacher. I implore you to meet the teacher. It's going to be life saving for you and your student. I promise you that. Um, okay, this one is going to be probably one of the, you know, one of them ones that touch somebody a little bit. And with me not being a hater, like I don't care. Remember that? I'm gonna say it because I don't. It doesn't matter. Okay, this is a big don't though. This is a huge don't. And again, as a staff person, this is when I put my staff cap on. Right? Don't be the parent that always says my child wouldn't do that. Okay, trust me. Your kid get around certain kids, or certain people, they're gonna do it, whatever it may be, little stupid trouble stuff. It's gonna happen. So don't sit there and say, oh, my kid wouldn't do that. You don't know your kid once you put them on the bus or once you drop them off. They might be angels in your presence, but when they get to the school, they put on a different personality. And basing it off of experience of what I've seen over the years. Parents will come into the school, oh, my kid wouldn't do that. My kid is an angel. My kid is this. Ma'am, you know your kid from the hours of, I'll say, 4 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. But from 8 to 3:30, your child is a menace. And I'm gonna just let you know that you don't know him. Okay? So you may think they're an angel at home, and they might very well be, but don't be that parent, okay? Because you gonna end up having your feelings hurt when they got a book full of referrals and they've been in ISS for a month and you didn't even know, because they not telling you, or the letter didn't magically come home because it's been thrown in the trash. uh, and you're making our job much harder. We can't discipline because you feel like your child is some type of angel sent from above, when in actuality they are tearing up the school every single day. As working in ISS for many years now, I see it often. The best kids skip ISS, never see the light of day. They only see me where? In the hallway. ISS kids, they know the real me. Now, you'd be like, who's the real Mr. Brown? Not the person y'all see on social media. I'm actually very, 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 nah, I won't say nasty, but I have much a mean disposition. And some people might say, like, nah, you too laid back, you too cool. But if you push enough buttons, Mr. Brown changes into something very different. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Not that I'm going crazy or doing nothing crazy, but I start yelling. And when I start yelling, people start reacting different. So as a staff person, don't approach me with your child as an angel, because truthfully, I see them for 7, 8 hours a day. I know the truth. No angels here. And even with my own kids, to be completely honest, I know they're not angels. I know they do stuff that's crazy at school. So when I hear it, I'm not surprised. Why? Because I spend enough time with them to know, yeah, you're going to do something silly. I try to prevent it, yes, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way. And that's just, that's just what it is. Um, it's just what it is. There are some great kids in schools. Let me not, because I don't want nobody to be like, well, my kid don't ever get in trouble. That's true. Like, there are instances where no kids, there's a kid that I've never seen, and that's sad because I only know the ones that misbehave and I don't know the ones that behave. But it's very slim on the angel tip. I just want y'all to realize that. Okay? Very, very, very slim. All right. The next do, right? This is the next positive piece. Be helpful when it comes to the work, homework, classwork, etc., that your child is going to do, right? So, what I mean by that is expand their knowledge base. They're only in school for 7 hours a day, 5 days a week. So that's 7 times 5. Simple math is 35. 35 hours a week. You still have hours outside of school where they are capable of learning different things. And what that, to me, what that entails or what that means is you got to do different things, right? So, for example, um, my son, he's 7 at this point. Um, his big thing is technology, YouTube, etc., YouTube and video games. And he's always amazed when I teach him a new skill on the game, because he's like, whoa, I ain't know dad knew how to do that. Okay, first thing. So teaching them a new skill, whatever it may be, whatever it's related to. Sometimes we do sports. He don't really like sports, and his brother didn't like sports either, but we did the athletic piece too, so that they were kind of well rounded, when it came to that. Um, but also huge science center fan, right? So we've made multiple trips to multiple different science centers over time. And even if he's been there before, he always tries to find a new exhibit or something that he didn't know, right? So it expands his knowledge. Like, he knows a lot about animals. He, even though he's like very, very shy, but he has like a very extensive vocabulary for somebody who's 7, in my opinion. um and that's due to the kind of stuff that we do, like just expand their knowledge, introduce them to new things. So that way, when they're like, and I see this as an educator in every sense of the phrase. When they're talking to their friends and they're talking about, things that they've done over the summer or did over the weekend, you want them to be able to have those type of stories to tell. So it expands their wealth of knowledge, and it also gives their friends different ideas on things to do as well. So that's always a good thing. Like expand their knowledge in the best way that you can. It'll be nothing but helpful to them in the future. Um, so I said the last don't was huge, but for those parents of, I'm gonna say grades 2 through 7, I'm 2 through 7. Don't be afraid to ask questions when it comes to the work, whether it's the math, the science, the all the subjects, especially the new math, right? And I pause when I say the new math because y'all can't stand the new math. The new math ain't nothing but the old math with some extra steps, but it's them extra steps that make you feel like, what is this? And I can understand it because, again, as a parent and as an educator, I often look at it and go, you can't be serious. Why are we even doing this? Like, just teach them how to add. They don't even know the numbers the old way. Where are you adding these extra steps to make it like, oh, now if you uh break this down, then you can still get the answer. Well, I could have got the answer if I just put 2 plus 3 was 5, and I didn't have to go 2 plus 1 was 3 plus. I didn't have to do all of that. Like, I could have got the answer real simple. But don't be afraid to ask questions if the teacher has an open communication system, and most of them do. They'll give you their phone number, they'll give you their email. Do not be afraid to reach out. If they say they're going to respond to you, most times they will respond. You're not going to meet any teacher that won't um, give you their contact info, especially if you say, like, you give this homework, but my child is struggling. Um, well, then that's on them to give you further insight on how to complete the assignment. They don't want to hand out zeros. They don't want to fail your child. So with that, use the resources available. Reach out to them. Um, at one point, I didn't understand assignments, and my mom would reach out to the teacher. Not often because, and I don't want to brag on her, love her to death. Um, she was intelligent though. She was very intelligent, so she could help me through my homework. Um, and then I had, other family members, my grandma, they could help me through it when I was younger. Once I got older in middle school, high school, I knew I had to ask all the questions before I left the school though, because they were working, and they were working back then, but they could help me. It was simple stuff. They could help me. But middle school, middle school, high school, that homework takes time. So you got to ask tell your students, tell your kids, like ask the questions before they leave, because sometimes we can't jog our memories back that far to be like, hey, yeah, I could do this algebra 2 real quick. Nope, I can't. It's gonna take me some time. I gotta sit there, remember the rules, remember all of this. And the rules now might be different. So now I have to not only learn the new rules that you don't know, right? As the kid, like you don't know because you don't remember, you weren't paying attention. Um, and now I got to do all that, run back my old rules plus your new rules and try to figure everything out. Too much. Hit the teacher up. Guarantee you they're going to give you everything you need to get through, right? To help you out because they want to see the kids succeed just as much as you do. And that's another thing. Like, don't think that the teacher is evil because the kids gonna come home and say that. Oh, so and so don't like me. Mister this don't like me. Or Miss that don't like me. That's not the case. They got rules in the class. They got, things that are necessary for all 20 something students to learn. And they can't have one bad apple messing it up for everybody else. They have to have unity and cohesion in the classroom in order for everybody to learn. So you got to, that's another thing. Pipe your kids up to behave the best that they can in the learning environment. We don't, as a staff person, I'm putting my staff hat on now. As a staff person that has to respond to students who misbehave, we don't like seeing them. I wish my days could be zero kids in in, in school suspension. I wish every day, because then at that point I'd have to find another type of job to do, right? I would live for that. But at the same time, we know it's gonna be some kids that wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or they got external circumstances outside the norm that cause them to act this way, and they need a place where they can, calm down. Okay, cool. But if you just showing up and you just feeling like, yeah, I'm gonna just be Mr. Tough Guy today, or Miss Tough Guy, Miss Tough Girl, um kick rocks for that. Like, why? Because what is that proving? That's not proving a single thing. It just proves that you just want to show how bad you could really be. And who got time for that in this era? A lot of these kids, right? And this is real off the cuff, off the script of what I wrote. But a lot of these kids are behind academically, right? That we just gonna be real at this point. A lot of kids, due to whatever, COVID, whatever it is, they're behind academically. And because they're behind academically, it makes it very tough for them to learn, period, every single day. Right. But you got to have the behavior, because you got to stay in the class in order to learn. Or when somebody comes in, like a resource teacher, to come in to help you, you still need to be hospitable enough so that those people can teach you. We often say the first teachers are parents. So I'm going to throw this back on parents, right? And then myself included. They learn in the home. So if they see you being respectful in the home to them, or to maybe your spouse, or maybe the other child in the home, they'll be respectful. It's and I'm talking about younger students at this point. High school students and middle school students also by then have made choices to be who they're going to be. You can still frame it, you can still kind of fix it, but at this point they have decided to be who they're going to be. And ain't really much you could do about it. Um, you know, you could try. You going, I mean, obviously you could get through to them if you really want to, and we know what those means are, but they've decided. But you definitely could frame for the younger ones. Like, you can definitely make sure that they are following rules and regulations on a daily basis to help them learn um as quickly and as best as they can. All right, I've given you like a lot of do's and don'ts and a lot of positive and negative things that I've seen in my years of education. Hopefully, it has not like scarred you or anything, or made you scared to like come to your child's school because you feel like now they just up there acting a fool, and that may not be the case. They're probably behaving more times than not. But another huge do, I would say, or positive. Um, get involved with the PTA or whatever organization your child's school might have. This is huge. You're taking you're taking ownership of their education. You're involved. You're there. You're present. It shows the school that you have a positive attitude about the school, right? Because most times parents have negative attitudes about the school based off of how their students' behavior is in the school. So if you join the organization and you're there, it shows positivity, and that positivity trickles down. So now you're there, admin or the teachers see you're there. It shows, um, hey, this parent is involved. You know who that trickles down to? The student. Once the student knows you're involved, the likelihood of their learning increases. um if you're not involved, not saying that they can't learn if you're not involved, but if they're one of those kids that's teetering on the like being positive or negative about their own school, if they have a parent that's positively involved, more likelihood they're going to be positive about their own school experience, and it'll shape it to where they'll be more successful. um and that will definitely help them on a daily basis. So basically, right, I think I have given you guys more than enough tools. If I have missed anything, I'm sure my educator friends out there, once they see this, they'll add some things. They'll tell me what I missed on, or what I should have expanded on, or whatever, right? I'm no expert, but I'm not a hater enough to keep this information that I know to myself. At this point of being on both sides of the equation, being a parent of a school age child and being a staff in a school system for over 18 years at this point, I know some things. I've seen some things. I've seen some changes be made. I've seen the whole thing. I've seen a kid come in from kindergarten and leave in sixth or eighth grade and be completely different from what I saw them when they first got there. Even with my own kids, I seen the kid go through from grade 2 to 12 and make a substantial change, or he was who he was and he made it through regardless. um Even with my younger son, you see it now. He's in school. He like it, he don't like it, he flip flop every couple days, but he likes to go. He's a very smart kid. Got to keep it going. All these kids have the potential to be smart or geniuses, or whatever positive word you want to use for it. They all have the potential to do so. It's up to us as parents and staff, administration, whoever we might be in that realm, to pull it out of them and make it happen for them. They need a little guidance. They need a little push, and we gotta let them know that we're here to give it to them. So with that being said, I hope this helps. I hope you guys, I wish all your kids have a successful school year. I can't wait to see the back to school pictures. I've seen some from my down south counterparts and family members down there. Looks like it's getting off to a good start. Um, can't wait to see all the smiles and the celebrations and the first day fits and the new kicks and all that. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. Can't wait to see it. Hope to hear some positive things this year. Hope to see some positive reports. Um, if you need to, I'll put my social media links in the clip below. I mean, in the description below. Look at me in the clip below. In the description below. And if you need any advice or anything like that, man, again, I'm not a hater enough to keep this stuff to myself. I will definitely help you um as long as I can, or as much as I can, for as long as I can. Oh, one last piece, and I didn't say this earlier. Okay. So I'm gonna get to this and then we gonna sign off for real, for real. I've been seeing this meme go around to the tune of like, don't be afraid to get your kid an IEP if they need it. Okay. Very true statement. Do not be afraid. As someone who worked in special ed before for a number of years, take the time. If you see that your child is struggling and having issues with certain things that they should be on top of at this point in their educational career, schedule that meeting. Have that PPT. Find out what's going on. Have your child tested. Do what you need to do. Um, don't be afraid of it. It's not a death sentence. It's not the end of the world. Your child is unique. Your child is special. They deserve to be taught in the ways that help them the most to learn. And don't let it linger on too long before you do so. Um, it's not a death sentence. IEPs can help. At one point, truthfully, when I started school when I was 4 years old. I had no concept of school. Guess what they tried to do? They tried to give me an IEP. Turns out I didn't need one, but they was going to give me one. So don't ever feel like, it's because they say your kid might be this or might be that, or spectrum this or spectrum that, whatever. It's not the end of the world. Like I said, it just means that your kid is unique, and all the kids are unique. I don't want to make it sound like that, but the kid needs a little bit of extra help, and you place them in the places that can help them the most. um, I had the greatest time working with those type of kids. Special, we call them special needs, but I just call them special children. I had the best time working with them. They were so much fun. They made you physically work, but when you got through to them and they were able to do the things that you knew they could do, it made you feel a sense of pride in your work, for sure, definitely. But with that being said, I'm gonna sign off now. Um, Come back for the next episode. I don't know what it's gonna be yet, but it's gonna be another one. This is Mr. Brown, this time, Mr. Brown, for the I'm Not a Hater podcast. Peace and love.